quick hello, welcome, and thank you for sparing your valuable Saturday evening with us. I hope we will make it enriching and useful and make it a little entertaining for you. My name is Anil Nair. I'm the co-founder of Goodwind Moto Tours, and that's John Francis. Please, John, please wait. Okay. Uh, I can't say John Francis, the one without the hair, because there are two. So, so that's John Francis, my co-founder, and the third leg of the stool is in somewhere closer to the Arctic. He's in Ireland. He's not part of it, and the gentleman on the screen is, I don't know what to call it, a dear friend, customer, or someone who is always asking too many questions. So that's Sachin Wadhwani.
That's the Wadhwani.
Yeah, it's the Wadhwani, as John likes to call him. Sachin is going to, do what he normally does with us. Call up and ask a lot of questions and put the phone down and repeat the same exercise few months later. And you'll keep asking. So finally, we said, okay, since you have a lot of questions, it's all pertaining to something very interesting. We said, okay, why don't we actually, create a session where it is going to be at least useful for others. We can repeat ourselves, but this time let it be useful for others. So just to give you a little bit of background, Goodwind Moto Tours have been around for 7 years, but we've been doing international tours for more than 6 years now. And bulk of riding is in Europe, though we do tours in Asia, which is we have Bhutan and we have Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. We also do Africa, which is Morocco, Namibia, and South Africa. But today we are talking about riding in Europe, but this is largely applicable for any part of the world. Thankfully, Thailand and South Africa, you are riding on the same side of India, but still, they are all international places. So just take it as more of a chatter on how you can ride outside India and how you should prepare yourself for it. John, anything to add?
Nothing. Just grab a coffee or a beer or whatever you can. Sit down and just enjoy the fun banter that's going to happen. Yeah. Shoot, Wadhwani, shoot your questions.
Yes. So lots of questions about lots of rides, but I think we are going to focus on Europe because that's what this session is about. So first things first, I am absolutely ready for Europe. We've traveled lots in India on motorcycle. I've traveled with John. I've ridden with Anil, with Goodwind, without Goodwind, on my own, with my friends. And I think I need to experience something fresh. So Europe is on my mind. And so my first question for both of you guys is, what do I need in terms of paperwork? I've got my Indian passport. I've got Aadhaar. I've got PAN. I got UPI ID. I got ration card. Now, what do I need? I have Calcutta Cricket Club photo ID.
So
what do I need to ride in Europe?
Have you not voted in the recent times? Do you have voter's ID?
I have voter ID. Can I ride with a voter ID?
Correct. You probably can in some parts of the world, but okay. So just to give you a little bit of a background, John will talk a bit more about this paperwork. But fundamentally, that before you leave the shores of India, you need beyond your legal license, which very clearly says that you are legally permitted to ride a two-wheeler and light LCV or whatever that combination that you have, or you only have a two-wheeler license. It should be valid and it should not be expiring anytime soon. That means a minimum validity of 6 months. And against that, you have to go get an IDP. Okay, this is a very important process.
IDP stands for International Driver's Permit.
Yeah, correct? International driving permit. It's a permit and it's not a license. So it is not an international license. A lot of people call it an international license. And therefore, they make the mistake of carrying just IDP for an international ride. It won't work. It works in conjunction with your existing Indian license.
Existing Indian, okay. So I have to have a valid Indian two-wheeler license.
Yeah, yes. Two-wheeler license. So if you're So whatever,
Yes.
if you're riding a two-wheeler, you intend to ride a two-wheeler in Europe, then you need to carry the two-wheeler license. If you have a planning to drive, you need to have that. So the IDP is issued by no one but the same authority that issues licenses. Okay.
Which
Now
is the
this is
RTO, which is my local RTO.
yeah, it's your local RTO. And some people say that, okay, listen, I was I got my license from Delhi. Now I'm working in Bangalore. Okay, and I'm living here for the last 15 years. So should I have to go back to Delhi to get? No, you don't need to. You can
You don't.
prove your domicile thing with the local RTO to say, okay, this license is from Delhi, but I'm living here, and therefore, and next document is very critical for the RTO to see for issuing a IDP, which is your visa. So you need to have a live, valid visa for an RTO to issue an IDP. So you can't just go there and say,
No,
I intend to ride, give me an IDP, and then I will go get a visa and
so
decide. No.
so first visa, then IDP.
Yes.
In that order. Okay.
And you have
In
to
that
go
order.
personally. To
Yeah,
the
you have
RTO.
to.
Okay. No agent. Okay.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to add, so your IDP is something that is issued by your local RTO in conjunction with your license to say that they are aware that you are traveling abroad to so and so country, and they have authorized you. They are an authority to authorize you and say that you are fully fit to drive abroad. That is why they ask you to come in person to make sure that you're don't have a broken hand, broken leg, blind in one eye. Anything can happen, right? So they want to see you physically fit, and that's why they certify it.
And obviously, Indian RTO being Indian RTO, there's no driving test.
There's no driving test.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
Take
there's no
IDP,
driving
take
test.
IDP, go enjoy.
Based on your license.
So Sachin, you asked a question, agent. Okay, now it depends on the RTO and how it is. See, I mean, I would say that ideally we should go there and get it ourselves. But they're so bureaucratic, and if you ever been to an RTO in any place, you will understand that you don't want to waste your day. So you will get it within the same day or the next day. So, okay, that's the best part of it. So it's not a long process. It's a very simple process. Okay, and thank you, Alan, for the question. WIAA is not an authorized issuer of IDP. Okay, so they can give you a permit. So it has to be a government authority. So this has been a very big question and very big thing, that there are a lot of internet bodies, there are automobile AAA SOFI, all of that. They all can issue. But when a situation develops and when they check your documentation, only an authority of a country, because what happens is that the IDP is issued on the basis of two conventions in the world. One is a Geneva Convention and a Vienna Convention. Okay, and I'm sure WIA has not signed any convention, and I'm sure AAAs are not signed any convention. The under the convention, the authority of the local transport authority is the one, it's vested there. Now, I don't want to complicate it further by actually saying that our IDP is not valid in few countries who does not recognize our treaty. That's a different conversation altogether.
So they don't respect the Andheri Convention, I mentioned too.
Correct. And they strongly believe in the Thane Convention.
Thane Convention they do, okay.
Yeah. So
no, because this WIA, I was going to say the same thing. Isn't it the one issue that IMC in Churchgate? Because I used that to drive in UK, but I mean, I was never pulled over. No cops check, so I don't know.
So I'll tell you where it really happens. It really goes for a toss when you have a incident, okay, a violation or incident, more incident than anything else, and then it spirals when there is an issuance of a insurance, okay, and on the fact that you have not procured your IDP from a proper legal authority back in the country, everything is null and void. Okay, therefore, it's a problem. So we strongly recommend. It is very easy. The rental provider Hertz, whichever in the car, in the case of car, but in two-wheeler, whichever this thing, they will see an IDP and give it to you, right? But
they don't
many
care.
of
They
them,
don't care.
But what? Yeah, they just want to see you have your permitted. But it is incumbent on you to ensure that the document that you are carrying is legally valid. Okay, that's the problem. So we would strongly recommend, do not take shortcuts. There is a lot of internet scam. there is a lot of stuff going around saying that
There is a scam in IDP also.
Yeah.
They don't leave anything. Huh? I think there was only fodder scam, Bofo
Scam, boss. Everything.
scam.
$9.99 for a digital one. $9.99 for a digital one. $199 if you want a digital and physical. Both are fraud. Okay. So you want to be a bigger C by paying more to get two documents which are not valid. Okay. Or you be a lesser C by paying for one document. So that's all. So
and it is very technically called World Drivers Association or something like
some
that.
Congress or something like that.
Something. It's all rubbish. It's all rubbish.
So basically, everywhere you look, there's a scam going.
It's just a translation. If your license is in Greek, they'll translate it to English and give it to you.
Yeah, translation. Yeah, translation.
Yeah.
This is largely done for countries like China, Japan, where the original license is issued in their language, in their alphabets, right?
Yeah.
So these guys are authorized to translate it. It doesn't mean that is a substitute for IDP.
And
so
the Habibi.
And of course from the Middle East.
What about the Middle East?
The Habibi land.
Right.
The Habibi land insurances are
licenses are all in the local
Arabic
language, right? Yeah, Arabic.
So then, but you can use ChatGPT and translate it instantly. But
no. Again. If anyone who's listening in from the other part of the world who has their license issued by a local authority which is not in English, please get a translation done because they do not care for any other language other than English. So then you can use these services, or you can ask their local authority to give you an IDP which is in English, which says that it is against this license number. So then that's okay.
Just imagine you take a license in international language and it actually says this man is blind in one eye. Do not let him ride. Asking for trouble. But you're right. Anyway, insurance companies are looking for an opportunity to deny your claim also. So you better have everything covered.
Yeah.
So I just, Sachin, thank you for saying that because that is also, we will not talk about insurance later. But definitely the documents, I would certainly say that please carry a proper valid insurance. Now, insurance is again the kind of insurance that you need to carry. Some people carry travel insurance for this. A travel insurance will only cover you for travel related disruptions. Okay. A lot of people say, I have, 1 crore travel insurance and all of that. Your baggage get lost, whatever it is. It does not cover you for an incident that happens abroad. So you definitely need a medical insurance, which covers you for medical expenses while you are abroad. But please see, can you get a general insurance which actually covers third-party costs? Because it's exactly like that. But you have to be very, very careful. Unlike in India, people can be very, very unreasonable when they're asking for a damage thing. And they will, it's not a question of $1,000, $2,000. Somebody can actually ask you, or euros, they can ask you for tens of thousands of euros as damage thing. So you have to be, so please speak to, so that we will certainly tell you, please speak to your travel advisor insurance advisor and say, I'm going for such a purpose. What are the best coverage I can get? It costs nothing. It really costs nothing because it's a short period. Our tours are maximum 2 weeks. So you can even take it for 1 month. It just covers for that particular travel, any injury, any medical emergency to be done. And there are today there are global forums. They're very expensive. But if you are going to travel very regularly, they are rescue, insurance and rescue. That means they can really come to you. But whichever corner you are, airlift you, take you to the hospital, cover all of that. So all of that, these are all options. So we would definitely tell you, apart from all the documents, which are mandatory, travel insurance is only mandatory thing that Government of India say that you need to take a travel insurance. But we will say, please take your overseas mediclaim and other added insurance also.
This airlifting sounds like fun, man. Sit in the fucking helicopter. One short ride, why not?
Just for a ride.
You can never get that experience in India. You crash at Lonavala, you put in a chopper, take you to Lilavati.
Just pay me $1,000. I'll give you a better ride. But this is going to be an expensive ride. The rescue ride.
Okay, but have you guys had any experience when someone has claimed insurance due to for whatever reason, and they'll be like, "Itna 5,000 euros." Have you had any experience?
So yes, we had. We don't want to, we go into the personal and details. It's exactly that one of our riders while he's overtaking.
Was it Amit?
No.
Don't
Amit
take
was
names.
there.
Was it Amit?
Amit was there, but
Amit was there.
it was
Kinnauri was
Amit.
there.
He caused the
Yeah.
accident, is it?
No. So not
Anyway.
only that, the bike, was damaged. The bike that he was riding was damaged. So therefore, he had to pay for the damage, and there is insurances for that, which we'll help you. So when you book a tour with us, the bike-related insurance is definitely you can speak to us, and we have certain very nice things for it. But what was really happening was that this guy hit an oncoming car. And that particular gentleman was off for his holiday, and the car was damaged. It was his first day of the holiday. So he said, you not only have to pay for the car, which is damaged badly in the front, and you have to pay for the entire holiday, which I lost.
Yeah.
Now, that was not a small amount.
It went into
Okay.
a couple of thousands, meaning thousands, proper thousands.
Proper thousand, big thousands. Okay.
And
It
the
is like
amount and the amount will keep changing, because on Friday, if he charges you 10,000 euros and euros at 110 rupees, on Mondays become 112. So now 2 rupees extra you have to pay. So it's like your meter is
Correct.
till you
constantly
pay.
running.
Till you
Till you
pay.
pay.
You're
Till you
right.
pay.
Till you pay.
So thankfully,
So
it got sorted out. So,
it got sorted out, but it is why,
because it was his fault. Yeah, it was completely in the wrong.
So we would certainly tell you not to just leave this thing to Ra, and it's not too much of money to which you will end up paying for an insurance. But if you don't take an insurance, you'll end up paying a lot of.
Yeah. So okay, so we've covered the IDP. Go to the right source to get it. Don't take these agents. There are scams. Be careful. Make sure you get right insurance. Don't come with fire insurance. That's not going to help you. And I think that's it. So then you're prepared.
Yeah.
Fire insurance only covers the campfire incidents
Yeah.
in the evening.
Correct.
And I think one question popped up now, Sean.
Yes.
Yeah, it was about the IDP. It was
No,
about
there's
the
one more.
okay.
Who's asked this? Alan. Is big bike riding abroad considered as adventure sports, even if it is not off-roading? No, it's not.
I think he's asking for insurance classification or something. Maybe
yeah. So it is equivalent to driving. So you will
riding
not
it on
have
the
a
road
problem.
legally. Yeah.
So if you are on the road legal, but if you are participating in any one of the so-called rallies, adventures, it becomes a different thing. So you have to just say that exactly. So sometimes since motorcycling abroad is a new concept for as far as India is concerned, many of your insurance agents and even the insurance companies there don't know. So you have to just put your foot down and say that please consider this exactly. I'm going from point A to point B in a car. So if I'm going to all of that, instead of it's a 4-wheel, it's a 2-wheel, so it's the same conditions. So don't let them bully you.
The idea being that you are on a legal road as per the norms that exist abroad. Off-roading means you're going through trails. Those are not roads. They can be private trails. They can be through somebody's land. That's a different ballgame. But as long as you are on a proper road, which means a road recognized by the transport authority of that country, nobody can stop you, because that road is there for a purpose, and it's there and it can be ridden and driven on legally. So that's the idea. That's what defines that's like the boundary. So as long as you're doing that, it's not considered any separate activity. So it's legal road riding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Alan.
Yes. So we've covered that. Next, what I had in mind is if we go to a country, now in India, we're driving on the left-hand side of the road more often than not.
Yeah.
What happens when we are riding on the right side of the road? How much time does it take me to acclimatize, for want of a better word? And what else do I keep in mind? For example, in India, if you have a stop sign, it actually means go. Tell me how it works in Europe. In India, stop sign means gas it, bro, gas it. Okay. Don't stop.
Okay, so there are two parts to it. John can take the second part of it. Let me tell you the first part of it. The orientation difference. Okay.
Yes.
It is, in my experience, and we have taken close to 300, 400 people outside India, to various stores. And from our observation, and not our personal thing, our observation, we have seen a lot of mind block that happens, saying that for the first time, people might have gone abroad, they've been driven around in a taxi, cab, friends, all of that. The moment they get onto it, they have a mind block that comes in. It is actually less than 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You are absolutely fine. You won't realize it. You just become part of the moment because your orientation suddenly becomes everyone is going this way, all of that. Where it really gets to a challenge is a roundabout.
Yeah.
Okay. You hit the first roundabout, 90% of the people I've seen have gone into the wrong side of the road after the turn.
Especially
The
the
third
city. Yeah.
third
Correct. You go
exit
the other side.
because it's like this. If I tie your eyes and turn you around and leave you, your orientation goes for a toss. So that's exactly what happens. That you actually come and roundabout. See, if it is a second exit, which is usually you're straight, it's okay. You go in and go. If it's a third exit, okay, you come in, you skip the first right, the second and third. Invariably, you forget which side of the road did you enter, and people go on come. So at that point of time, what we normally do is we bunch people up, slow it down, and then, so very clearly you follow the wheel of the first guy or the second guy, and
The lead.
that's how.
Got it.
So the orientation issue is something that is a question of 15 minutes, but then after every coffee break, after every lunch break, we actually, before people get onto the saddle, we tell people, remember, we are on this side of the road, right? Remember, just because you sit, have a coffee, chat, banter, cigarette, all of it,
You
get
forget,
down, saddle, and
yeah.
turn into the.
And you go to default setting.
After the coffee
It has
stop,
happened. I have personally seen this. It has happened. It has happened where after lunch, after the super lunch near the side of the river, the guy got onto his bike and he rode on the Indian side of the road. And I'm on this side, and
the car is
screaming, saying, no, this side, and there's a car coming right on the bend. The car braked, he braked, thankfully nothing happened. And then he was like, shit, So it's just that fraction of a second, and all this happened within 30 seconds. Yeah.
So we handle for that. We keep. Yeah, we handle for that,
You
but
need to
it's not.
Yeah, but this is in spite of the reminder, so it happens.
Yeah, it's less of a real challenge versus a mind block, and it's very easy to overcome that. Yes, again, overtaking. Again, which side of the road do you overtake when you actually, on that side, right?
So because if I'm on the left side of the lane, and there's two lane going, two lane coming, the right side is the faster lane, the left side is the slower lane. If I'm on the right side, driving on the right side, then the left side is the slow lane, right side is the fast lane. Okay. So you're saying you're saying a few hours.
Yeah, but we Indians have used all lanes anyway, so it's not there you
we live life in our lane.
Our lane, right? So what is the fast lane? What is the slow lane? Wherever is the empty lane, we put our bike there and cut through, and from the left side we come like that, right? That's what also the bikers do. Okay, we are on the left side of the truckers, cutting from there and coming. So so all that bad habits won't work there. But the only thing is there you're right that when you are on the side of the road where the traffic is moving forward, your furthest from you is the fast lane. Okay,
correct.
Furthest from you is the fast lane, and then you have to use that lane to overtake. You cannot use the closest from you or the one here because there is nothing there. It's free because the relative speed of all the vehicles on those highways are very different from ours. We cannot judge that. And they are not expecting a biker to appear there. Because, see, they drive because the whole concept of driving in the Western world, or mostly around the world, is the fact that we expect everyone to follow. And we know that if there is a stop sign ahead, everyone will stop. Nobody will run through, right? Or roll through. Or you will not come into the slow lane, okay, and trying to overtake. So that can lead to accident. That can lead to bump up, all of that. So those are the small discipline. Then it's all fine.
So basically, just follow the lead, and in a few hours you'll be used to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just be mindful.
And to know which side of the road you need to ride on, I think it's just best to put a sticker, sticker somewhere so that you see it, or tie a ribbon so that at least for the first few hours or the first day you are reminded. If you tend to forget. So that's a good way of keeping track.
But thankfully, in India, we can practice on the wrong side. Before leaving for a trip, just ride on the wrong side for 3-4 days, you'll be fine. Bindas.
Philip has a question in the chat.
Yeah, I'll come to that. I heard that, but I'm just saying. So this is, Sachin, you were talking about it, right? This one.
Stop.
I mean, this sign is also available in India. Okay, so
it's invisible to us.
It's invisible to us. It is, but internationally, this means what it is. Stop. Stop means you have to come to a halt, right? You can't roll. So what we do in India at best, very disciplined riders will still be on the first gear and will be rolling on this to see is anyone there. No, here you have to come to a halt, and I always say that 1 foot down, tap. Okay, take that much time. Take your foot out, tap, and come back. So that means that's like a kind of discipline. You don't need to plant, look, whatever it is. It's a empty countryside. You don't know. You haven't seen anything. So, but still you stop. Even if there is no oncoming traffic, nothing, you stop. Okay. Now coming to the question that Dilip asked. Okay, in terms of third exit oncoming, where
Hi,
Dilip.
One more baldy. One more bald head.
Baldy club.
Hi, Dilip.
So, have you seen Fast and Furious? Everybody is bald.
Correct.
Of course.
That is the furious part.
We are furious, dude. We are not fast.
Yeah, just furious.
Always angry.
So Dilip's question was, when you are in a roundabout, you have a third exit. What if there are already people in it? In the sense, because it's a roundabout, someone is also roundabout. So the rule around the world is something called yield. Okay, and that's not a biker's thing. Yield is very simple. First come, first serve basis. So if there is already someone on the roundabout, it is his right to go into the exit. You have come into it, but there is someone already came into it, right? The guy from the right is coming in, and he also wants to go into the third exit. You will respect his seniority on the roundabout. So what we tell is that there is a seniority in the roundabout. It is about who was present there before you. Okay. So so when you get to a roundabout, you're not looking at where you are going. You're looking at each and every exit. Is there someone waiting for you before? Then don't be an idiot, right? So because they're waiting for you. So you have to stop at the beginning of it and let them move first. Otherwise, what will happen is, so bikers generally have a bad name, and I don't think it is just India, because I've heard universally, bikers just come in, they just dominate the roundabout and go. Like boom, 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 10 bikes come and go, right? No, technically, if you are number 2 and there was a car, your lead passed, right? You have to come and stop there. If there's a car waiting, let him roll out first. Okay, then your turn. So it is you are a separate vehicle, and you are not a group when it comes to traffic rules. Okay, you have to follow your part of the bargain. So those are things.
Nice.
There was another question from Dilip.
Dilip is on fire.
Dilip is on fire. Dilip is testing us.
Yeah, Dilip is saying, let's see how much these baldies know. Full time they're giving Gyan.
And when a roundabout is just a painted circle on the road, you take exit 2. Yeah, correct. Because if the painted circle on the road with nothing on it, you just take the second. Absolutely. And are we supposed to go anti-clockwise on a roundabout? You go on to the side of which side of the road that you are riding. So, for example, if
depends on your lane, depends on your exit.
Yeah.
I think only once you're there, you will actually figure it out. Otherwise, we're just talking about it.
So if you are taking, these roundabout rules have little different flavors in each zone. Like the Eurozone, the UK roundabouts are slightly different. For example, if you're going, supposing you are taking exit 1, right? So in the UK, because you are going to be, exit 2, because you're going to be riding on our side of the road, right? You stick in that particular lane. The lanes are very clearly marked, right? Unless you're going to exit 4, then you stay in the rightmost lane, right? So you go around, you stick to the right, you go around, and then you branch off and you get into the fourth exit. If you're going, say, into the first or second exit, then you stick to the left side of the road. You don't go on the right side of the road. The same thing applies on the Euro side of driving, which is the opposite side. You stick to, when you're driving on the right side of the road, you stick to the right if your exit is, say, 1 or 2. If your exit is more than that, say there are 2, 3, 4, then you stick to the left side, which is the inside lane closest to the roundabout. You go in, and then you slowly move to the right. If you see in a roundabout, people will always be one behind the other. They will never be side by side. Unless the person knows that he's going to branch off way before you, which is why the lane system is so important in a roundabout. Otherwise, you see, they're always going one behind the other, you know.
Yeah.
And that's an
Hello.
important thing to keep in mind. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I would like
Prasanna.
to share my experience. Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Sachin.
Prasanna. How are you? Long time.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
I'm fine. Yeah. So I had been on the Balkans tour, where my experiences, at the first Ljubljana when we were leaving, John was right behind me, and there was one more person from the group. So we were at the roundabout, and we were eager to negotiate the circle, that one of the guy, he stopped at the circle. He was looking at the right, I was looking at the left. I had a pillion with me, and I was just behind him, just few meters, 2 or 3 meters. So as it is, we were approaching on a slope, a bit of a slope on the circle, and we were so close that when I was looking at the right, he was looking at the left. He stopped. He was not so sure that whether which vehicle was going to move next, and I went and touched his rear wheel, and we had a bit of muscle there. I had to keep my bike down. My pillion also was down, and thereafter the John and the other group, took my bike up. So
So absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a very, very realistic situation that can happen. Something like this is definitely possible in
confusion
a group.
happens.
Yeah, group ride. But always the rule is, you should not look at someone, except for the lead or whatever. When you're in doubt, you can look at. Also, the golden rule: never stop in a roundabout.
Yeah.
Never
And use
stop
your
in a round.
indicators. Use your
Indicators.
Very
So
important.
you can see a roundabout each side. There are 4 sides here. Has 2 points. One is the one leaving the roundabout, okay, which is an entering a road, and one is entering the roundabout, okay. So when you want to go to the road where there is no road in between, you can just turn. You just don't have to wait for anyone, right? You just have to watch any oncoming thing, because you are entering and exit at a point where there is no crossroad coming in between. But if you have to cut through 2, 3 and exit on the third is, in this case, we are talking about the one which is on the furthest left of you.
Yeah.
There,
After you cross the half circle.
This is where most of the confusion happens, and you have to come closer to the central circle, not to the wider side, and exit. Because the wider you go, you are trying to exit. Okay? So when you keep your bike or car on the wider side, you will create disturbance for all the people to go around you. So you stick to the center and come wide at the point. So it is, as Sachin said, this has to be experienced. But the long and short of it, the whole thing is that this is the question: how quickly will you get used to it? Yeah, you can get used to it very fast. Roundabout is the only challenge.
It is actually very logical. You know, if you pay attention to the way you have to negotiate a roundabout, forget roundabouts here. Anywhere outside of our country, it is very, very logical. It's actually very clear. When you get in, you get in in a certain lane, and you get out of that lane using your indicators. If you're going left, that is crossing if you're going beyond the 180 degree, then you put your if you're driving on the Europe side of the road, you put your indicator to say that I'm going to go beyond 180, and then immediately you switch your indicator to the side you're going to cut, the exit you're going to take. So you put in your indicator while getting in, so the person knows that you're going to cross, not take any of the the outermost lanes, 1 or 2, and then it's either 3 or 4, and you cut and go on the other side, and use your indicators, because they are very, very they watch indicators a lot. And that's
indicators
very good.
first. Finally, we'll use indicators. Huh?
Finally, we use indicators. Yes.
No hand signal. No,
We'll try next time.
You can try, right? Hand signal.
So there is a confession that has come. The person who stopped at the roundabout is also in the call. Sandeep Pillai.
Not at the roundabout, at the entrance.
At the entrance of the roundabout. No, the entrance of the roundabout is fine, Sandeep. That is still okay. The people who go into the roundabout and then decide, okay, which way where should I go and stop on this, and that's a shock for people who are coming in. See,
Yeah.
they are not used to this kind of people who are coming in and freezing on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
It kinds of jams up all around. It can be utter chaos because see the roundabouts. If you observe in most of Europe is full of roundabouts. Okay, their traffic signals are non-existent outside big cities and small towns. They're just in country roads, where we ride the most. Are the traffic flow is maintained by the correct roundabout. So people are used to they coming to roundabout, they turn, and suddenly you see on biker stop.
I'm guessing for them it's second nature. No? We are the ones who are panicking.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
So
we've
you get
covered
you-
this.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just write it down. Just focus on
Sum
the
it up.
roundabout. Follow the lead. This is not Wakat Chowk. You are in Europe, so follow the rules. Use the
Done.
indicator. Don't use your hands. Okay. So this is one. Second is what happens if I break a rule? Is there a camera? Is there a policeman? How do I get caught? How do I, get fined?
Oh.
Yes. So
And
the
I believe
police.
I believe the fines also exorbitant. It costs as much as a helmet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes
Yeah.
maybe
Vega helmet,
two.
huh? Not showy. Like a LS2 or something.
No, showy can happen. Showy can happen.
Oh, really?
You will be, showy can happen. So just to tell you, when you ride outside India, Europe, or outside Asia rather, the manpower policing is very few, very little.
Okay.
So you will not find a policeman standing anywhere doing anything. Okay, but there is certainly a police car somewhere in the bush.
Achha.
In strategic locations. Okay.
Ha.
And they are, so there is very clearly markings and road signs to say this is camera control. Controle, the camera depends on whether it is Spain or whether it's in France. Very clearly you can understand this is a camera zone. Second thing is there is a radar zone. Now radar, what is the difference
So when you
between
say
camera zone?
sorry, rewind. When you say camera zone, is there a warning? Is there a
It
board?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Proper
So it
warning.
is not like in India where traffic guy, that Pandu will be standing on the side and stand in front.
Yeah.
Only
Surprise.
There is a proper warning. saying
There's a
200
proper
meters
warning
camera-
saying that okay,
camera approach. Camera
camera
is there.
approach. Mind
So
your
they give you
Hold
an
on.
opportunity to to make sure you don't screw up.
Yeah.
So
But
so
the cop
there-
but one thing is very familiar with India. There is a cop in the shade watching here. Also, the cop is in the shade napping. So that is same.
yeah, that is the same.
Okay.
So
Kind
the
of.
napping
Yeah.
cop. So that is where the second one comes in. When they say radar zone, okay, the radar zone simply means it'll ping the cop. Okay,
Oh.
there'll be a speed alert. He'll get a bip. Okay, and he can see on the radar this is a speeding car or this is a bike which violated something or whatever it is. So when they say radar zone, immediate action, you can expect immediate action. Camera zone, later action. Very simply means you will be captured with time, place, everything, but pretty much like what is happening in our big cities in India.
Okay.
And they will fine you. Fine you will be. Radar zone, he will come and he will be, there will be a cop car. And many Indians don't know what happens when a cop car comes behind you. Okay. Oh, light, behind you. Simply, okay.
That's another story.
People, that is a story. People believe, he's coming. The police car is going.
I'll go faster.
He's going for somewhere. I will, go at the speed or before him. So, then you are in for a bigger trouble. The moment you say Diwali lights behind you, please pull. Immediately pull over. Cut your
pull
speed.
over to give him way. Or
give him way
is he trying-
or he'll come stop behind
Or
you.
he'll come and stop along with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If he comes and stops behind you in the US and other places, he will give you another further horn, further alarm. Tutter, that one number will come. That is basically says, I mean you. Okay. It simply means I mean you. He comes behind you and do that tutter twice means it is you. You are in trouble. So you pull aside, irrespective. It's always better to pull aside when you see a cop, a light anywhere. Okay. You just move out of your lane. And if he comes behind that lane also, that means it's you. Just stop. Okay. So then we will come to that later.
There's something very interesting that happens in the UK with the cops, right? I mean, you have cops standing on the road side along the shoulder who sometimes, take off for high-speed riding. They probably try and, track you down. But there are cops also, especially on the M1. There are cops like we have no cops in Mufti. There are cops in cars, okay, driving regular cars, usually either the BMWs or something like that. The moment there is somebody speeding on the road or who has broken it multiple times, they keep a watch. They put on their, I've seen it happen. They put on their, they have the warning lights. They just slam it onto the roof and they start the chase. It happened right next to me. They're there in civil
No,
clothes. They're regular cops.
undercover. Okay,
Undercover cops. They chase you down and they pull you aside. And if you happen to get caught by one of those guys, then it's a completely different scene, because it means that you've been consistently, breaking. You've been either breaking the speed radar quite a bit, and they have got the information and they are tracking you down. It's a live system that works.
So
Especially
simply
on the
put,
main
Sachin,
highways.
simply put, when you get caught by a camera, then it's an action which is later. Where means they will mail it to the bike. So it is a license plate which is caught, right? So it is a license plate. So it goes to the person who's owning the motorcycle, which is in this case the rental company. It depends on the country. In Switzerland and all, it is 48 hours they will receive it, or 24 hours they'll receive it. Some other Romania and all, it might reach 3 months later or whatever it is. But for sure, they will get the fine, okay, and they will pass it on to you. Now, it's a very important thing. Our tour must be over in 2 weeks' time, 10 days' time. You're back in India. But you are, by the visa requirement that you signed, okay, when you put in the application, you have very clearly undertaken the oath. They'll follow all rules of the country that you're going in. Okay, that is there in the visa application form. The traffic violations are very much part of that agreement. So you have given an underwriting for them to give you a visa in the country. So you cannot escape that fine. You have to pay it. Even if it comes
you cannot
to you,
not pay. You have to pay.
Some people say that I'm not going to go back to that country. Why should I pay? Why should I pay 150 euros, 200 euros? No.
So does Europe remember like an elephant when I go after 5 years? Again,
yeah, it does. Schengen zone remembers it big time, and I just will tell you, there is a family who missed their own daughter's wedding because their visa was rejected in the last minute, because the family had a history. 3 years back, they went for a holiday somewhere in Switzerland or something. Their wedding was in Italy 3 years later, but they were flagged, and they were sent repeated reminders, which they claim that they haven't got, whatever it is. But if you're violated the traffic laws and you're not paid, and if you've been given notices after notices, that's a serious violation in all these places. So you have to pay, and someone definitely will have to pay it, because they will not forget it. That will be a card or a challan against your passport.
They will not forgive. They will not forget.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me how is it to deal with the cops? Can I say, Zaudiyana Sahib, first time, last time? That doesn't work, huh?
Which one?
Can I tell the cop, if he catches me, I say, Zaudiya Sahib, Zaudiya, first time, last time?
You can.
Can you reason? Can you say,
you can. Actually, surprisingly, they will, if you say I'm a tourist, the first time I'm doing it, blah, blah,
them
blah.
your passport and
Most of the cases, unless and until your violation is not very serious, it is a speeding thing and all of that, they'll give you a warning. That is the first and the last warning. They will still enter your license plate on their system. Okay.
As a watch out for this guy.
Yeah. And Dilip said about the credit card. Dilip, some rental companies release, so they take a security deposit and release a security deposit when you return the bike, and they release a security deposit. If the fine is reaching after that, they will send you that separately. So if your fines are live, then they will take it against your security deposit. But if it is reaching them later on, and especially we've seen that happen in Italy, Balkan. Italy comes very late, and especially when you are from southern part of it. See, each is an administrative zone. There is no federal authority. The fines are coming from local transport authorities, the transport cops or the traffic cops, and they are not federal, they are provincial. Okay, so that is a different system. It depends on how well they are funded, how good their systems are. The fines will come faster.
Understood. So you are getting fined. if you mess around.
Yeah, you will.
Okay, I think we have another question.
So, no, group ride, Dilip, another question about toll. Except for Austria and some part of Switzerland, motorcyclists are loved uh, uh, community by many things. They allow motorcyclists to pass through. If you, like, for example, an autostrada or a autobahn, you have to pay tolls, but we avoid these highways, super fast highways, unless and until we just want to give people a small experience of probably a 20 minutes of that. We kind of avoid all of that. So tolls is something that we don't. Like, for example, when you're in the Alps tour, you have to go to Glossglockner, which is one of the most stunning roads and stunning peaks in Austria. You have to pay that ridiculous 30 euro toll. So it is part of it is already baked into the tour price. So you don't have to.
Yeah.
Not all the tolls. It depends because Anil, some of the tolls, we keep it open.
Yeah, because if we are,
and it goes out of the kitty. Yeah,
kitty.
Because
So
we don't know the route we are going to take. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to, for example, if there is a landslide, rain, you have to take the highway, and that is taken from the kitty where the lead pays that, and so you don't let everyone. So the long and short of it, you don't have to stop and pay yourself. It'll be taken.
You don't have to pay it yourself. Yeah. So Dushan usually does that, and he just pays it, and one by one we go through. He stands next to the toll officer. He keeps paying it. The gate keeps opening, for each one of us.
And I think we had one more question for this session is that obviously vehicles, they are moving at a faster pace and a more consistent pace. There's no like slowing down and going faster and slowing down. How does a newbie manage that? The constant traveling at like 110 kilometers per hour, and then there's someone going faster, he just overtakes you. How do you get used to that? Does it take long?
John, you want to answer?
Yeah, I mean, see, you need to first of all understand.
Because in India, if I'm riding a motorcycle, I'm the fastest. There's no one faster than me, right? Everyone
and you
is
do
slow.
something called lane braking, not splitting.
Okay.
You break the lane from left to right. You keep going.
Yeah. Right? So, but over there are people going faster than me and as fast as me in 4 wheels.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So the deal here is that there's a very clear designation as to which are the lanes where you can go fast, right? So usually if you're riding in Europe, the rightmost lane, is usually reserved for trucks that have a 80 kilometer per hour or 100 kilometer per hour speed limit. Okay, and then as you move up towards the median, the center point, right? Say if it's a 4 lane, which means you have 1, 2, 3, 4. The lane closest to your the center is usually the overtaking lane. That's the fastest lane. You're not supposed to sit in that lane. You're supposed to overtake, use that lane. So if there's a car in front of you in the 3rd lane, so if there's a car, this is a 3 lane. So the rightmost lane will be usually your truck lane and caravan lane, like you can see. And then the leftmost lane closest to the center of the road will be the overtaking lane. So if you're got a vehicle in the middle lane, you put your indicator, you shift to the left, you overtake, and you come back and slot yourself, put your right indicator, and you come back and slot yourself into the center lane, and you stick to the speed. So your left lane is usually overtaking lane. You should never sit there ever, because the cars behind you want to overtake, and if you're sitting there, that's your fastest lane. You can go if the speed limit is 120. If you're overtaking, you push sometimes to 125 and you come back. That will give you that 5 kilometer per hour advantage, and you come back and sit in the center lane. So it usually goes in that order.
So Sachin, basically what happens is that the question that you asked, that the left lane, the tolerance is 10% or in some countries 7% above the speed limit, technically. But when you are in certain countries, you will be really surprised. You will be at 125 or whatever, and you will see a Porsche rocketing through that zoom pass. And he's coming at you at such speed that it is quite unnerving. How fast he approaches you. I mean, he must be. I mean, maybe he's paying enough fine, but it's always, as John said, empty. That leave the left lane. Don't stay in the left lane. But again, I just want to add two more points here, okay, which is for all the people in India. See, the rightmost lane is supposed to be the truck lane or the slow lane or the caravan lane or whatever it is, right? They also will be moving at a particular pace. So you can't be saying that, okay, I'm not very comfortable with high speed. So on a autobahn or any road,
road,
which is anywhere, autobahn has no speed limits in, technically. But on other highways or roads, if it says 120, you cannot be riding at 60 and 40
Yeah.
because the relative speed matters. Then you can create a crash. Unless and until you're
Can I get fined for going too slow?
Yeah. There
That's
are
in fact
people
a
who
worse
got.
crime. That's a bigger thing.
That's the worst.
Traffic.
They can be high. They can be high
no
side.
respite, huh? There's no respite. I can't go too fast. I can't go too slow.
80 kilometers per hour is 80 kilometers per hour, not 40 kilometers per hour. You can't say, okay, I'm going way below the speed limit. No, 80 means you go at 80. You stick to 80.
You can be 72. You can go at 72. Yeah, that's fine. But you can't go
Uh,
at 40.
Or 84.
Here, I would like to add one more thing from the experience from the way we went in Balkans. There actually, and recently also, actually, it is very important to watch the mirrors. Sachin,
Yes,
what
you have
happens
to.
is that what we see
Non-negotiable.
in our mirrors in India is different from what we see in the mirrors there because the cars are approaching so fast. We don't get the judgment to move into the overtaking lane. When we want to go into the overtaking lane, we have to see that small speck approaching at very high speed, overtaking several cars from very long distance, and then go on to that overtaking
Oh.
lane.
So the
Otherwise,
trick here, Prasanna,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, but I completely understand what you're saying. The trick
yeah,
here, okay, is that when you are going to overtake, okay, you don't say,
yeah,
now I'm going to overtake, and you overtake. No. When you decide to overtake, you put your indicator. The
yes,
indicator is
true,
what works. So you put your
true,
indicator and you have to wait.
yeah,
You have to wait.
true,
You wait for
true,
10 seconds, 20 seconds. You put your indicator and you wait. The person behind will see your indicator and he will slow down. Even if he's coming at 120, okay, the moment he sees your indicator, he will drop his speed. He will give you the space to move. That is if you have your indicator on. So
yeah, true.
and the indicator work in
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
That doing all the rituals, completing all the rituals and completing all the things that you need to do while going in the overtaking lane. So though we the what we see in India is quite different than what
Yeah.
we would be seeing in Europe. The
Absolutely.
car in the first lane, he's already overtaking one or two vehicles very far behind, like Porsche. He just now talked about. It is approaching at such a high speed. Maybe he may be around more than 150, 160 somewhere, and we are at around 120. The acceleration, by the time he reaches, we have given a signal to the car which is behind us, and we are going to. So we have to watch. We have to travel a few more distance, like say a kilometer or so, to overtake the
You have
vehicle
to
in
be
front of us.
patient. Patience is the name of
We
the
have to
game.
be
Yeah,
patient
agree with you
and
completely.
watch the mirror always. We watch the mirror on your left, on your right, because even the heavy traffic which is on the extreme end also are moving at a very high speed, around 120 or something.
Yes.
They're at very high speed, and they won't stop. They
They
won't
won't
stop. That I have seen.
Even if you give your indicator and for example you see Porsche, he's a speck in the mirror, you're doing 120, he's coming at 150, right? Sometimes he won't slow down for you, because he is coming at that speed. He cannot brake so fast. So if you realize somebody is coming, you just let him go and you have to wait for the right gap. You have to wait because you want to perform the action.
Yes.
It is your due diligence and you have to wait for the right gap, move, overtake and come back into your lane.
True. So always watch in the mirror. Always watch in the mirror at so such a high
Thank you,
speed.
Prasanna. I think it's a very, very, very
Both
valid.
Thank you.
Such in one point I want to say, while the high speed, we are talking about high speed and Porsches and all of that. Let me tell you where most of our customers maximum fines they got.
For I don't know, for what? For going too slow?
No,
Or as a
actually,
roundabout?
they got fines for in the villages, in the small towns. Okay, so what happens is when you are in in many countries around the world, there is there'll be 30 kilometers between two villages or two stuff. So you are on those roads, you're at 100 kilometers permitted now, and suddenly you see 100, then you see 60, then you see 40. Okay, and that very clearly indicates there is going to be either a junction or a town, small town coming up, or a village coming up. So many of our Indian friends who come there, they start braking very late. Okay. So what happens is they are entering the town at 50 when there is at a 40 thing. Now they have reduced the speed from 100 to 50. They come, absolutely slow, and they are going at 50. It is a bigger crime to go at 50 at a 40 zone in a town than on a highway to go at 150 and a 120.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
It's absolutely. You're going to get a fine because they take school zone. They take that very seriously. Smaller towns, smaller villages. So this is one watch out that I always tell people, saying that if you see a name of a village or something, or town, okay, whatever, San Gimignano or whatever it is, and you see 10, 100, whatever this thing, cut it down, gear down. Okay, gear down, not break down. Gear. Come in. Ensure that you're entering the 40 zone within 10 meters, 15 meters, you're in 40 or 35 or whatever it is better. And then people ask me, how do I know I'm over the village? I finished the village. How long do I? Again, you'll see the sign. Or the easiest hack is you see the name of the town and a cross against it.
Crossed out.
Okay, horizontal cross against. That means the town is over. Okay, now you can pull back to your
black and white board, usually crossed with a red mark.
So there is no fine. Even if you in a 60 zone you already touched 80, no problem, right? They will know. But in that town, I went at very low speed. Why did I get fined? Right? But you are at 50 in a 40 zone. So that is another only watch out. You have to worry about.
Cool. I think we've covered some good topics. We're getting to the point of departure.
Yes.
Next quick question. Wadhwani, one more question.
We have time.
Come on.
Yeah, we have one or two questions we can add. Yeah, quick.
What's in the list? Let me see what I have.
Ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Open up.
Yeah. One more thing I observed that I couldn't understand is that when we are coming from a 4-lane highway, and then there is a village road which is having a 2 or 3 lanes, and the 2 or 3 lanes the 4 lanes are merging into. Then we see a yellow patch with a it's a teardrop like a shape, and it merges into 2. So what is that zone actually? Do we drive on that zone, or we should avoid that yellow markings?
It's all shoulder, okay? And many countries, shoulder is you cannot overtake on the shoulder. You can come in on the shoulder. Don't use that shoulder for overtaking. That is a bigger crime. Okay. Avoid the shoulder, because what they're trying to do is to create the volume, okay, which is coming and narrow it down, one behind the other. So instead of everyone coming in together, they're trying to narrow the volume. So once you come in there, sometimes your speed is too much. You might be parallel to something. You have to slow down there. But you use the space as a shoulder to overtake and go in front of the vehicle in front of you. That is a definite fine.
You're not supposed to ride on that. You're supposed to actually stay, because when 2 roads are merging, they want to keep a very definite gap between the cars that are merging onto the highway, or if you are merging onto the highway. So that's why you have that yellow patch with the crosses like that, with the lines.
So the teardrop is also the shape is like this: big volume to smaller volume.
To smaller volume.
Prasanna sir, did it take you long to acclimatize? You've done 2 rides, right, to Europe, or 1? Can you hear me?
I think he has a network problem. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Just wanted to say hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
Familiar faces.
Which part of the world are you?
I'm in Bangalore. Just came back from Taiwan.
Yeah. Nice.
Taiwan is beautiful. You should actually have a ride. It's a small country, island.
Right.
And a lot of mountains. So nice
Okay, definitely,
Yes, it is.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
More or
and
less like that.
there are hardly any motorcycles there. Right? Motorcycling
Yeah.
is not a very big thing there. But I
No,
don't know
it's
if you
not
can. Yeah.
not part of the culture. So, but we'll have to check.
Yeah.
But we don't want a
But
situation where
Let's
while we are riding, China arrives at the doorstep. So that's
let's
what.
yeah. Let's go
They're
disturb
always
them,
waiting.
yeah.
They're waiting
Let's
there.
go disturb them with the bikes and exhaust.
Yeah,
but beautiful roads, huh?
yeah,
Beautiful
I'm
roads,
sure.
Yeah.
and it's
They may
nice
Yeah,
forgive
because
us if we are on CF motors, no? We'll probably escape that, no? If we are riding CF motors there.
see a motor, they'll say, okay,
no a lot of mopeds and
Yeah.
scooters, but I
Yeah.
don't
if
see
they're
the big bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
But
It's a small,
beautiful
small country.
countryside, very
Nice.
mountainous, and then nice. You have the beaches or the mountains.
Right.
You
Nice.
went there for your profession for professional work,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I had a conference, and after that, Suman was with me. So 2 days we just
Nice.
went around, and it
Every
is nice.
nice.
everywhere you go, you make people see the light. You open their eyes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Super
Yeah,
nice.
so
And
our time is up here, but we
Yeah.
can take questions from other people. If any other questions, we're happy to answer because otherwise we will go on bantering like this. But we want to respect everyone's Saturday evening. So if there are
Yeah.
questions, we're happy to
It's
answer.
amazing.
Uh,
We've had so many
yeah.
people join and listen in. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. You can ask or you can put it in the
Otherwise, we have to deal with Vadwani's questions only constantly.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because there are questions regarding gear and what riding gear. So, that there was things. So I'll just quickly give, it's a big topic. I'll just basically give you one simple answer. When you go to Europe, be ready for 4 seasons in a day. Okay. Please don't look at weather report while sitting in India and say what are the next week's weather in Austria, whatever it, and land up there. But it was all supposed to be sunny, so I didn't bring the rain gear.
Correct. It
It's
can change
it is
anytime,
all
huh?
it change anytime. I in fact
Yeah.
every day when we brief, we tell people saying, okay, don't ask us what is going to be day after. We will try and guess it with all the what you call weather maps and everything by for late evening today because when I checked this morning, tomorrow seems to be a clear day, but in the evening, the whole weather pattern can change. So
Correct.
basically, you should be ready for cold. It's very single digit cold, even on a summer day, early mornings, if you're in the mountains. You can have a nice spring like weather, at around about 10ish. You can get summer in the afternoon and you can get torrential rain by the time you can be soaking wet when you come into the day. So all four
Yeah.
can happen. So the gear has
So
to
I
take
think
care of
Gore-Tex
it.
is the best bet. Right? Just buy Gore-Tex. I mean, it'll
Yeah,
be
I mean,
expensive, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So wherever you have Gore-Tex, layer it. We will always say layer it. It's better that you should have something. Even if you're Gore-Tex and all of that, sometimes Gore-Tex can get, summer days Gore-Tex can be a killer.
oh, correct,
Can be
correct,
a
correct.
killer. So suddenly, see, 30 degrees in Europe is worse than our 30 degrees. So it literally, and if you are in a traffic or something and you're stopping, you literally, feel hammer blow on your. So Gore-Tex there can sometimes let you down. So it's better to layer. So if you have 3 layers, like a inner layer, which you can remove, your regular riding gear, which is textile or whatever it is, we will tell people not to wear mesh unless and until June, July, August in Europe because mesh can become quite, the wind can become a problem and a rain jacket. But if you have a Gore-Tex top, so the hack I follow the hack that I always wear a Gore-Tex pant so that I don't have to pull a rain pant in the middle of nowhere. Okay, that can
I
be
see.
quite cumbersome. And I'll wear a regular thing, and the jacket can be put simply can open the top box because we give top box on every ride,
I see.
every vehicle we get it.
But it will still
Okay.
be even a bad day would still be it'll still be better than the best day in Mandi, right? How bad can it get? Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
place in the world, Vadwani?
Well,
You
Monday,
know why?
Monday.
Yeah, it rhymes with you know what? It's my favorite
Yeah.
place. Must go
Yeah.
back for memories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this has been nice. So we've covered the paperwork. We've covered more or less the fines that you can face. We've covered more or less the basics, roundabouts, stay in your lane, don't go too fast, don't go too slow, and gear will go, I think, more in depth next time. As of now, we
yeah,
know we can expect 4 seasons in one day, basically island weather. So just be prepared. Don't cry later.
yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Absolutely.
We plan to have more of these because, again, Wadhwani has many more questions. So we're going to put these questions up for another
Mr.
webinar.
Questionnaire.
sometime
Mr.
soon.
Questionnaire.
Vikram Vetal.
Yeah.
one question are the never-ending questions.
Yeah, questionnaire, ready. How many you want next time? 10, 20, 30?
Pen it down. Yeah.
Question GPT.
Yeah.
Question GPT, correct.
Cool, man. This is nice.
Claude.
Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you for everyone for asking these questions. A few of you, and it really we're happy to help. In fact, so the advantage of going with a group or a conducted ride or a organized ride is that many of this briefing happen. But if you are going alone, also, these sessions and when you actually apply these things, it really helps you when you plan the ride because it is completely different as Sachin said that you might have done hundreds of thousands of kilometers in India, but when you go outside, it's a different ball game. But you can get used to it very quickly.
Yeah, and there's a certain thrill when you ride abroad. You do feel it. The machine is at its best, and that's where it's meant to be enjoyed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great fun.
At least you are not riding E20 petrol.
True. Correct. Sugarcane juice.
Very, very soon E80.
E80.
Correct. What's going to happen there, we don't know.
I'm waiting for someone to put a ridiculous video where he was thirsty and he wanted something sweet and hydrating and he said, "मैं sugarcane juice पिएगा." No one has posted it yet.
Straw.
Yeah. Straw.
Where is the hydration pack in the tank?
In the tank.
And paper straw, so he's eco-friendly also.
Eco-friendly also, correct.
Good. More nonsense talk next time.
Yeah.
Should we wrap?
Yes, let's wrap.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you so much. We had one lady in the crowd. Yes. Thank you so much for...
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing? Nice to see you.
Good.
Nice to hear you. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, super. Thanks, Sonal.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Anil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And yeah.
Thank you for support. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.